Two brothers. Born into a world that had no place for them. One with white hair, crimson eyes, and blood that carries the curse of the vampire, the blessing of a god, and the wrath of a demon lord. The other, no divine blood, no supernatural gift. Just hands that never learned how to lose. He is three things at once and none of them fully. Vampire. Half-god. Demon lord bloodline. He did not ask for any of it. And at the start, he barely knows how to control what he carries. But what sleeps inside him is something the world has never seen. His brother has none of it. No divine blood. No demon heritage. No vampire curse. What he has is something harder to explain, hands that hit harder than anything with power behind it, and a mind that sees 10 moves ahead. Right now, in a straight fight, hand to hand, the brother wins. It is not even close. They did not grow up in any kingdom. They grew up in the cracks between them. Making their own liquor just to have something to trade. Cooking whatever the land gave them. Learning every creature, every danger, every shortcut to staying alive, not because someone taught them, but because dying was the only other option. The world around them is not small. Vampire noble houses controlling bloodlines and territory. Beastkin clans ruling the mountain ranges. Demon lord kingdoms carved into volcanic wastelands. Divine temples holding ancient power. Merchant republics built on trade, coin, and the finest liquors in the land. And human warrior kingdoms that trust no one. All of them fighting, trading, surviving. The world is filled with things that do not want you to survive. Bloodhowl wolves, packs that hunt by scent of power, drawn to those with divine or demon blood. Ashwing drakes, smaller than true dragons but fast, venomous, and territorial. And the hollowborn undead creatures that drift between kingdoms, bound by old curses that no one fully understands. Then there are the ones the brothers learned to respect. Thornback Goliaths, slow until they charge, then impossible to stop. Veil serpents, you cannot fight what you cannot see, and they learned that lesson the painful way. And the god-marked titans, ancient creatures that predate the kingdoms themselves. You do not fight a titan. You survive one. The demon lord kingdoms are not united. They never were. Each demon lord rules a different domain, commands a different kind of power, and wants a different piece of the world. Fire and shadow. Ice and death. Plague and rot. Illusion and deception. And pure brutal conquest. They clash with each other as much as they threaten anyone else, which is exactly what makes the world so dangerous. To get by, they made things. Ashroot brew, a dark rough liquor fermented from wild plants that could knock out a beastkin or buy a week of safe passage from the right merchant. Char smoked wild game, strips of preserved monster meat that lasted weeks in the wild. And bloodfern tea, not pleasant, but it closed wounds and kept fevers down when nothing else was available. They did not stop at one brew. Stonebark ale, thick, gray, and strong enough to earn respect in beastkin camps. Ember mash, a spirit so hot it doubled as lamp fuel, but the right buyer would pay well for it. And wraithweed tincture, not a drink you offered a friend. A sedative traded quietly to merchants who needed something to keep dangerous cargo calm on long journeys. His brother is not just strong. He is the most dangerous kind of smart, the kind that was forged in survival, not in a classroom. He mapped every creature territory they passed through. He calculated trade values before they had a single coin. He read kingdoms by how their guards stood at gates. And in a fight, he is already 3 moves ahead before the first punch lands. The first time it happens, he does not understand it. 3 bloodhowl wolves. A desperate corner. And then something tears open inside him, not pain, but pressure. The kind that has been building his whole life. When it clears, the wolves are down. And he is standing in a crater he did not mean to make. The power is real. It is his. And he has absolutely no idea how to control it yet. He does not start with a kingdom. He builds one. And when it is his, truly his, it is unlike anything the world has seen. A continent of peace, where different bloodlines and different peoples exist without tearing each other apart. Vampire noble houses. half-breed communities. Even some creatures that chose to stop fighting. But the walls are thick. The armies are trained. The fortifications are ready. Because peace, in this world, is something you have to be willing to fight for. He is not a peaceful man by nature. He is a patient one. The continent he rules is stable because he made it stable. But there is always something underneath, a hunger. The vampire wants blood. The demon wants conquest. The god blood wants dominion. He keeps it leashed. But every time a neighboring kingdom tests his borders, part of him hopes they push just a little further. His brother's hunger is different. It is not in his blood, it is in his mind. He does not want to destroy. He wants to dominate strategically, to maneuver an enemy into a position where losing was the only option they had long before the battle started. He is the kind of war-hungry that reads a kingdom's weaknesses before sending a single scout. And that, in many ways, makes him more dangerous. And in a straight hand-to-hand fight, no powers, no abilities, no supernatural advantage, the brother wins. Consistently. It is technique against raw instinct. And technique, applied perfectly, beats instinct every time. The white-haired one could end it with a fraction of his power. But that is not the point. The point is, his brother earned that edge, and both of them know it. But in the end, and it is always the end that matters, the white-haired one wins. Not because he trains harder. Not because he is more disciplined. But because what he carries inside him has no ceiling. The vampire's blood, the god's power, and the demon lord's wrath, when all three open at once, the concept of winning in a hand-to-hand fight stops being relevant. He does not beat his brother. He becomes something his brother cannot be matched against. The world notices. The vampire noble houses cannot decide if he is an embarrassment or a threat. The Demon Lord Council does not appreciate one of their bloodlines operating outside their influence. And the Divine Temple Kingdoms are perhaps the most unsettled of all, a being with god blood who answers to no temple, bows to no doctrine, and built a peaceful continent while carrying wrath in his veins. Nobody has a place for him in their understanding of the world. That is exactly where he wants to be. At the end of everything, above the kingdoms, above the demon lords, above the creatures and the politics and the wars, it comes back to this. Two brothers who started with nothing. Made something from nothing. One who carries impossible power and chooses when to use it. One who carries impossible intelligence and is always already 3 steps ahead. They are not the same. They were never meant to be. And that is exactly why, together, there is nothing in this world that can stop them. This is the beginning. The white hair. The crimson eyes. The 3 natures that should not exist in one body but do. The continent built on peace that knows how to become war. The brother beside him who has never needed power to be powerful. The creatures. The kingdoms. The demon lords. The liquor they brewed to survive. The world is enormous. And it is not ready for what these 2 brothers are about to become.